So Delhi get over the line. They do the double over KKR. They pick up 2 vital points, not necessarily the high-powered, high-intensity, high-action-powered game that we've seen in the last few days in the IPL. But more importantly for Rishabh Pant's side, they've got the job done. They did not make 150 look easy. Dan Vettori was looking for a phrase between easy and not easy, which is probably where they've ended. And we look back at that game on Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 timeout powered by IQ 9 5G. Not necessarily a game of two teams that are high on confidence, fair to say? Yeah.
No. I mean, it was a desperate win for Delhi in terms of they just wanted to almost struggle their way to performance. They got a couple of little cameos here and there that got them across the line and a couple of stumbling moments through those middle stages where KKR potentially had a thought that they could come back and win it, but Rovman Powell at the end just took the game away from them.
Yeah, I mean, 150 should always be chased, Bish, but the importance of Rovman Powell following that innings, getting a nice unbeaten 33 to take his side home?
Very, very important. And I don't know how this segment of the show goes, but there are a couple of key things I want to mention. I hope I don't prolong it. Rovman Powell obviously is a decent enough player. You asked about his qualities against spin, and what I was trying to think back was his 100 against Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali in the Caribbean. He averaged 43 against India with these same spinners in India last February. So I think he's improved a lot. Very good against seam, but shows a great temperament. And if anyone, put it on social media, has the opportunity of 10 minutes to spare, go and look at Rovman Powell's life story, a video on YouTube. You will see why so many people, including myself, are happy that this guy has gotten a taste of the IPL, because he has come from humble beginnings. He promised his mom that he would take them out of poverty when he was still at secondary school, and he's living that dream to do that. Great story.
Yeah, good on you to bring that up, Bish. Yeah, that's wonderful. Rovman Powell in his last 2 games, new life perhaps breathed into the rest of his IPL. So I guess you could say, Dan, that he is one piece of the puzzle now that Delhi have put together. But are there still some pieces broken? I mean, you just look at how they've chased this game today, and do they look like a side that can turn this around? Can it take some sort of scrappy win to then put you on a roll?
I think so. I think you look at the Mitch Marsh innings, he came out actually tried to be aggressive, and that may come off on another night. So they may have a potential there or a match winner that can get there. We know the class of David Warner and what he can do. Prithvi Shaw was unlucky tonight. So I don't think they'll actually look at any individual performances at all. They'll just say we needed a win tonight and our bowlers got us to that position. We scraped through with a bat, but we back our talent. There may be some positional changes. I still think Rovman Powell can sneak up that order. There's no reason why he can't get in ahead of Lalit Yadav or something like that. But overall, tonight was only about the win. I don't think they'll debrief too many things that happen in the game. They'll just enjoy the win.
Yeah, I think that's a good cue to me also to not necessarily go too deep into either Lalit Yadav's innings or Rishabh Pant's wicket or whatnot, because maybe we'll have more opportunity for that going forward. You could almost see that Delhi just wanted the points today and they'll leave everything out. But maybe the biggest story tonight is KKR, Bish. For a team that won 3 out of 4, have now lost 5 on the trot. All of a sudden, you know, you're seeing Pat Cummins on the bench there. If he's fully fit, he doesn't make this team. The top order's a complete mess. It looks like, as we look at the points table too, that this is not going to be easy now for the Knight Riders. For a team that started so well, they find themselves off track quite drastically.
Oh, no doubt. At the top of the show, I said they had less wiggle room than Delhi Capitals, because Delhi had played a game less and they were in that 6-point region. Where are they now? So Delhi
have the 6 points with the game in hand. Yeah, Kolkata 6 points and with 8 games.
So I think even with someone like an Anrik Nokia still to come, Delhi can get stronger. I think Kolkata have more questions to answer. The opening partnership isn't really doing it. They've got issues with their end of innings bowling. They had to give Venkatesh Iyer an important over tonight. So they've got more questions to answer, is the way that I'll put it. I think Delhi, with their team when everyone is fit, seem to have a larger potential upside.
Yeah, I mean, if we break this Kolkata team down, it almost looks like this season is, I wouldn't want to say gone, because it's not like they're out of it, but it looks like there are enough teams playing a lot better than them in a position to make those playoff spots. For a team that had that sort of start, you now look back and think, did their big Indian players let them down, the likes of Varun Chakravarti, Venkatesh Iyer, retainees. Is that somewhere we start when you look at where this team's lost?
I think it's a starting point. I mean, they haven't given them the performances they had last year. It seems strange to say, but KKR seems very unsettled. You're not quite sure who's going to play from game to game. Kevin Peterson was quite critical in the commentary around the fact that they've made so many changes. But I actually understand that. When you're a coaching staff, Brendan would be searching for results, searching for the right combinations, and you have two choices there. You either back players and go through the whole season with them, the CSK model, or you search for the right combination. And in a lot of ways, players probably haven't rewarded the faith that the KKR support staff gave them at the top of the competition, and now they're paying the price for it, where they really look unsettled.
I mean, part of that conversation extends also to someone like Aaron Finch. I mean, he got a half century, but we know Aaron Finch's track record. With due respect to the Australian white ball captain, he's never quite set the IPL on fire, and he didn't look like he was going to today either.
No, I think he had an aggressive game plan against the Mustafiza and Sakaria, because he wants to get his front pad out of the way. He doesn't want to be dismissed LBW, and so he's decided to be very aggressive towards them. But he's also been unsettled. He came in sort of half after 4 or 5 games. He missed the game through injury, and it's probably sort of sums up their tournament that none of their players have just been able to get going.
Vish, I guess if we try and make sense of the other issues that KKR have had, is it fair to say that Russell and Narayan have done their bit? They've been let down by a lot of other pieces that haven't come together?
I'll try to itemize it as quickly as I can. Let me start with the Finch discussion. Daniel is right about Finch trying to get his leg out of the way. And I'm wondering, I don't know enough about batting in depth as so many great players do. The way that he's trying to get that pad out of the way may work well on flat pitches, but we've seen 2 or 3 times in this tournament when the ball is actually doing something, that he leaves that gap inside, the stumps are exposed. He had that half century where the ball wasn't doing anything, so I'm worried about that. If I go back to the Russell thing, I go quickly. There was a time when Russell came in, I think it was against Punjab Kings. He came in the 9th over facing Rahul Chahar. He took, I think, 2 of first 6 deliveries. Then he climbed into the left arm spinner, I forgot what, Harpreet, I think. And then the next Chahar over, he took 4 of 4, right? Run a ball. It wasn't 3 from 10. It was 4 of 4. You know, I hate 3 from 10. And then he advanced himself against Seamus late into the innings. Tonight, as I look back, excellent player, but he makes mistakes at times. Russell could have said, Kuldeep, he's the wicket taker. If I see this over off, maybe take a run a ball, I can then tear into the seamers and that Lalit Yadav over if it was bowled later down. So I think Russell got it wrong. He's a brilliant player. He's been batting well, but I've seen him at West Indies level make some wrong decisions at times, and I think he'll reflect on this tonight and say, next time I'll do this differently.
Do you sense, Bish, that Russell is just more at peace when he's chasing, when he knows his target? Batting first tends to cloud his mind a bit more?
It possibly could be that way. But if I could speak to Russell, and I've had the opportunity once or twice to talk to him over the years, so it's not like it's a strange thing. If I could speak to him again, I'd say, mate, you're a better player than just this finisher. I've seen you play domestically and occasionally internationally where you have time to bat and you play, I don't want to say sensibly is the word, but you play with a measured and really sensible approach. I'll have to use that word. So I think that it's just a mindset that he can easily clear if he bats first or if he bats second. He's been around the game too long.
It's an interesting player to talk, because no matter what happens to KKR, we end up talking a lot about Andre Russell. Would you, if you look at games like this, think the team hasn't helped Russell's cause by almost continuously putting him in these sorts of positions? I mean, if you have a proper batter batting at the other end, maybe Andre Russell plays differently, or you get something else out of him. It seems like Russell's always having to dig them out of a hole. Or is that an expectation out of your marquee first retention?
Well, he had to get through a couple more balls because Kuldeep wasn't going to keep bowling, so he didn't know that, so that's probably unfortunate on him. I've played with Russell before, and I know he sort of thrives in these scenarios. I know that he wants to be the the guy at the back end of the innings who gets teams out of trouble. He wants to win games and he wants to set games up. So I don't think I don't think there's any frustration on his part about being put into these situations. I think he enjoys it. So but it is a lot to ask. But he's stepped up on so many occasions that we just expect it to happen. And when it doesn't, we maybe overanalyze him because he's such a huge part of KKR. Their successes have been built around his performances, and when he plays a shot like tonight and he gets out and then the whole performance looks a little bit bedraggled, then Russell is the focal point of it.
When a team wins 3 out of 4, Dan, and then loses 5, what does it tell you about a team? Does it tell you that this team perhaps overachieved, wasn't as good, and now is a truer reflection as the season's gone longer? Would you not be so harsh?
That is so hard, because those 3 wins think, right, we're on a path, we know what we're doing, we've got a game plan, we've got a team here that can go somewhere. You lose the first one, we're fine. Second one, and then you start getting into the catch-up mode of, well, what do we do in the first 3 games? Why can't we find that again? So it puts you in a spiral, but that happens to all IPL teams, all IPL franchises throughout the season, that you ride these highs and lows, and there's been so many teams that have been able to somehow get their way out of it. And KKR will still believe that they can. They'll think there's a mathematical chance that they can get back on this. And it's players like Russell that will be the ones that get them out of it.
All right. Would you hold any optimism as a KKR fan, Bish, of them making the playoffs? I mean, maybe they need the IPL to get suspended now and then play again in 6 months and then win all 5 at time. Maybe that's what Brendan needs. Yeah.
Miss a trick by Raunak, boy. Oh my God. I don't think you can write a team off. We've probably made mistakes with 1 or 2 Chennai Super Kings who very poor in 2020, came into 2021 and went totally opposite way. So it's dangerous to write anyone off. What I will say quickly is a couple of things. I want to stress I'm not blaming Russell for the loss of this game. I'm speaking partly as a West Indian, looking at someone like an Andrew Russell. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. You brought up the question of stereotyping overseas players.
Yep.
Almost every West Indian, for example, playing in this year's IPL, what does he play as? Either a bowler or a finisher. Everyone. Sunil Narine sometimes pinch hits at the top, but everyone is stereotyped as a finisher. You look at Rovman Powell. Dan said it. Rovman should be batting and could be batting higher. So what I would say to franchises, if you want to get the best out of these West Indians, sometimes a Pollard can bat higher. Sometimes a Jason Holder can bat higher, a Rovman Powell, a Shimron Hetmeyer. And if Andre Russell had the opportunity, in my mind, to bat higher in certain franchises that he's played for over the years, that batting would have developed that sense of awareness in setting up totals much better. I think he's capable of batting higher. So I just see him as an important player with Narine, who's doing his job as well. And I think there are possibilities. One guy can win you a game.
Want to add something to that?
No, I think it's spot on. I think that players succeed at international level can replicate that success at IPL, and they don't have to be put in certain scenarios. And it's amazing how some players get that opportunity and others don't. And I don't think franchises aren't. There's nothing malicious about it. It's just that they're just finding their feet. And so I always back the players who have succeeded in certain positions to give them that opportunity at some stage in their IPL career.
And it's fair to say that these decisions on where or how a Russell is used or a Pollard is used is largely in the hands of a franchise and not necessarily the player saying, I'd rather go in at entry point over 12, 13, not before.
I think the likes of Pollard and Russell may be different to that. I think they would have a say. They would speak to the likes of Mahela and Brendan, and there'll be a discussion, an ongoing discussion around when's the best time. What is the right timing for me to go in and contribute to the game? Yep. And I often think the only criticism possibly is they get it wrong when they're under pressure. So when we lose quick wickets, 3-4, Russell slides down to 7, Pollard slides down to 8, Rovman Powell, whoever it is, Stoinis. There's no reason why under pressure, 2 or 3 down, those batsmen can't stay in the position they would be when things are going well.
All right. Well, we did see what happened to Hardik Pandya when he went up the order, so that seemed to be a vital move for the Titans. Maybe another time, maybe another year. They're not out of it just yet, so maybe a more exhaustive review of the Knight Riders once they're even mathematically out of it. Funny things tend to happen in the IPL just past the midway stage, so we shall find out. Quick look at that points table one more time. We'll tell you that the Capitals pick up 2 important points and they stay in the hunt. It is a team, like Ian Bishop says, that could get better, will get better. They're still chasing, but if they can win another one, then we might end up seeing a different Delhi side. And I think we need to just fix that. Delhi's got it there 8 points, so that'll come at some point. Anyway, let's. Yeah,
Raunik's first mistake.
that's not mine.
Yeah, that's
You
Raunik.
think I
looking
find
at
the
it.
graphics as well? Yeah.
I'm watching you do it.
Yeah.
So I was looking at it when it came up. I kept looking at my laptop. I kept looking at my phone. I was like, I'm sure that they've gone to 8
Yeah.
points and not 6. But you had me questioning myself.
What do I do to that? It's not even my fault. You're making me sound like the
shop.
yeah. This is like I'm like the Andre Russell of this show, right? You got 10 guys that are supposed to be putting this together, and now everyone's talking about me. Anyway, 8 points, right? Go check it on Cricinfo properly. Anyway, no one's watching us right now. Go check the site. It's got 8 points written. Bish, pleasure. Thank you very much. Enjoy your commentary box. I'm sure your fellow co-commentators can't wait to have you back. So we will see
I'll
you
give them your
again.
address.
Yeah, will you give them? Yes, you will. Of course you will. Yeah, do tell them I said hi. And say Dan says hi too. Thank you very much to Daniel Vettori and Ian Bishop. We continue our coverage as Punjab and Lucknow take the field in Pune tomorrow. So join us then, just after the toss, on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout, powered by IQ 95G. Good night.